Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Broker Collective podcast. I'm your host, Marcus Malone, president here at HRO Resources and the Broker Collective. Excited to have Jamie and Ryan Allee with us today. Actually, when we very first started the podcast with the Broker Collective, Jamie was on the very first episode. And you guys need to go back and look at that one. It was a business development conversation, but it was really good, man. Jamie, you shared some great nuggets in there. So definitely go back and take a look at episode 1 with Jamie. Happy to have Ryan join us this time. These guys are based in Tennessee. They're on, built and sold a successful agency before in Colorado. Been in Tennessee for a number of years now, been at this for a long time, but happen to be one of our insurance agency partners with the Broker Collective as well. So know these guys well and wanted to have them on for this conversation because, man, I feel like they do it about as good or better than anybody I've come across. And it's really a lot of fun to work with these guys. And so I feel like, get ready. I think you're going to learn some good stuff today that'll be helpful for you and growing your own agency. I know, for me, kind of topic of conversation on my mind for today was really around the hard market, obviously is a big topic across the nation right now. So just kind of wanted to think and talk a little bit about just all things growth. There's a lot of things that go into growing an agency, and it's not just business development, although that's a big part of it. But there's other factors too, right? Retention and there's just a lot of other variables and factors that go into growing and sustaining growth in an agency. But Jamie and Ryan, welcome to the show, man. How are you guys doing out there in Tennessee?
Great, man. Thank you for having us. I appreciate it, Marcus. I'm famous now, man. On twice.
That's
First
awesome.
episode.
First time for me. Now that we have some growth, you get the real guns in here.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's funny.
Really make it happen.
Yeah.
That's funny. Before we hit play, you were talking about your daughter or something, Googling you or something, and then finding you popping up in the podcast on the Broker Collective.
Yeah, crazy, man, crazy. Cool. She's doing a project at school, and they're like, "What do your parents do?" And she Googles my name, and there comes, there it pops up, Broker Collective, Marcus Malone, Jamie Allee, HRO. It's like, it's crazy.
I love it.
Playing it for the class. Kind of embarrassing for me, but
that's hilarious. Well, good stuff, man. Well, thank you guys for coming back on. And now I kind of want to jump right into it, man. Like I'm a sales guy by trade. I mean, I've been in that business development spot for years. I mean, obviously various levels of leadership, and now running HRO, but day to day spend a ton of time in sales. And so it's just something I love to talk about, and an area where you see very few consistently succeed at a high level. Have been blessed to find success in that regard, and you guys, it's fun to watch what y'all have done through the agency and through our partnership. I feel like you guys are incredible when it comes to business development. But Ryan, we can start with you, man. I mean, you kind of spend a ton of time out there making it happen, kicking up opportunities. So the market's definitely, I think, changed a little bit in the last couple of years. It's been challenging with the hard market. It's probably creating some opportunities as well, right? I feel like the cream rises to the top sometimes, right? And this is a lot of times when, I think these moments can actually make you better for sure, and produce some strength and endurance in you. But give me your thoughts, man, just on, how you guys are approaching lead generation and finding opportunities, this year so far.
So when I entered this game, then, the sales involved with it, it was COVID. So I joined during the hardest market insurance has ever seen. So I've only ever known applications, accords, extensive customer follow-up, referrals above all else. As hard as it can be, it's the only way I know or have known. So from the beginning, I mean, every lead I've gotten is gold, and you mine it until the mine's empty. So you're calling them about their personal, they might contact you with an umbrella or something, because everyone's trying to save money on one line or two lines. So I go in, and instead of sending them a quote for the umbrella, I send them the GL, the work comp, and the auto too, just in small little seeds I planted throughout the 2-3 weeks of us calling. So by the time we get to the sales, the close day for the umbrella, it's a lot easier for them to buy 4 products at the checkout than it is to buy 1 and then try to sell them later. So that's how I've approached it from the very beginning. You know, I mean, I have a lead pipeline that I use, you know, eight steps, and they come in and usually within, you know, 2 weeks or 2 months, they're closed. And at that point, we have a good relationship. And of course, at the end, I ask for a review and I ask for a referral. Hey, you know, I did all this for you. I appreciate the help. I appreciate the trust in me. I would like a review on Google and I would like a referral at some point in the next couple of weeks. And they're happy to give it because I saved them money most likely, or I helped them with their business, right?
Right.
So,
So many people miss those steps too, just and
they're just happy they're getting the 1 sale for the umbrella.
yeah.
You know, they got their $400, they're out. Well, I want 4,000 and I'm not done until I get all of it. Right. So there's part 1, but then part 2 is, you know, we've always wanted to become a one-stop. I mean, a true brokerage is a one-stop shop for advice, counsel, coverage, assistance, business help. You know, we're not licensed in that necessarily, but we talk to so many business owners that we're qualified to give some advice, you know.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I mean, someone comes to me and yeah, they have 10 employees and they're wanting to grow and they're making sure they're doing everything correct. You know, most people don't even know what tax forms are. You know, they don't even know what I-9, or some don't even know the difference between a 1099 and a W-2, but they're running $200,000-$300,000 companies, you know. So because we deal with that, and we deal with you and everything else, it's really easy to cross-sell something that makes their life easier. And it's never price. I never sell HRO on price. I've never told them prices, right? I say, this is going to make your life easier and you're going to save time. And that's how I know if they're an HRO client or a good client or not. If they only care about the price, I don't necessarily want them because they don't have their best interest in mind.
Absolutely.
That makes sense.
Where are you
I mean, from the
typically,
beginning, you know.
where are you finding most of your leads in the beginning? Like, take me back to kind of like, you know, step 1 in the process. I mean, you wake up, like, where are you going to, you know, approach prospects? Are you guys doing a lot of, you know, in-person stuff where you're visiting, you know, companies? Are you making a lot of phone calls? Like, what kind of channels are you working through to create those initial conversations, you know, with the prospect?
Well, when I started, Jamie, I was learning to service everybody. So he started giving me some of his easier accounts that he could no longer manage because of time constraints. So I took those people who were, you know, exhausted because they'd been insured for 8 years with us and hadn't been touched in a while.
Yeah.
So he gave me some of those and I cross-referenced and cross-worked them and sold more. Right. So they might have been a $5,000 account and I worked them until they were an $8,000 to a $10,000 account. And then they would send a couple referrals and we did it naturally that way for a couple of months, I think. And then from there, we started getting on some lead gen companies like, you know, your commercialinsurance.net or your Smart Financial or your Simply Business, or, you know, these companies that reach out to every agency to supply leads, right? And you just bite the bullet and pay what it costs and you work it all the way through. You know, people shy away because of an accent, a zip code they don't like,
Right.
an income or a revenue they don't like on the client. But just because they're making 50,000 revenue now doesn't mean they're not an important lead 3 years from now. You know, so every lead we get, and we do pay for most of them.
Yeah.
We work all the way through from beginning to end. And that's like, if you ask for like a trick, like a carrot, it's to truly spend time with each individual person. It's not just about the sale, it's about the relationship. So once
That's
you
the
have
biggest
that,
thing I've noticed. I think working with you guys, that stands out to me, you know, more than anything is the relationships. I know when we get a referral from you guys, I mean, I was telling a story about this yesterday to another broker, but just, man, you guys, it's amazing. I mean, these guys, I've had companies jump on the phone with us and they're like, hey, Jamie or Ryan, they said this is a good thing, so we believe it's good. We just wanted to meet you and have that introduction, but you know, they're pretty much ready to go, right? So I mean, it is proof in the pudding that you guys are establishing some incredible relationships and trust and rapport. And you know, I guess tell me a little bit about that. I know, Jamie, you shared some nuggets in the past, but just kind of the importance of and how you think about following up, not just on prospects, but following up and staying in touch with your clients as well.
Yeah, so I appreciate the kind words on that, Marcus. You know, we really do pride ourselves with establishing, and I should say creating, and then establishing the relationship, you know. And it's just been working with you guys. It's been amazing because it's that one more thing that solidifies in establishing that relationship. You know, it just makes it better, right? And you guys have done a great job. If there is a problem, which is few and far between, but a problem for a client, you know, is important. And anytime I've gotten on with you, texted you, called you, whatever, boom, you guys have answered it, fixed it, done it, whatever it did. And we've had a few, you know, 11th hour type things we've had to deal with, right? I mean, and we got it done. And I couldn't have at all gotten it done without you guys, and you guys jumping on like you have. So, I mean, to really answer your question, that's, you are running your business and your service side like we are. So it makes us a perfect match in the sense that it would be the same vice versa. If you said, Jamie, they need this right away, you know, you need to call them. We got a problem with the work comp, or they have a claim, or whatever it might be. We're going to jump on it, right? So we're trying, you know, that I hate this. Maybe it's a cliche, maybe it's I don't know, but you hear about like everything is like an Amazon type feel, right? It's an Amazon type market. Like if you need it today, well, it's at your doorstep. Boom. And we try to do that because honestly, I don't know how many calls we get from other, you know, well, they're clients now, but other potential clients that they'll say, well, this guy never called me back. You know, I mean, I asked him for a quote on a house 2 weeks ago. I mean, okay, fine, I'll have it for you today. No big deal. I need this information. Boom, we're done.
Well, they're like, and you don't need it today. I'm okay having it next week. And they're like, no, you have 3, and they're in your email inbox. Check. You know,
Yeah, I've heard Jamie say before. I mean, we're always going to find a reason to call in terms of following up, you know, following up in the process, keeping the ball moving forward. I mean, from my perspective, you know, our core business is HR and payroll, but, you know, you've seen so many fail because they just don't follow up, you know, when it comes to business development. I mean, so many opportunities are lost just because you didn't follow up.
Yeah. And, you know, Ryan and I and Jim probably do a pretty good job in the sense that we try to find out about your life as we're talking to you, right? But we're making mental notes, and we have an activity screen, so we, you know, make notes in there. You know,
Still
you're
very
going
organic conversation.
yes, so that later I can call you and I say, hey, Marcus, hey, you know, I was going to call you today anyway, you know, about such and such, but what happened with your trip to San Jose, or it's just little things that if you're in their life like that, it's not about the sale. They're already doing that. We're just going to talk about your new baby you just had, or, you know, hey, are you feeling okay? I know you were sick, or you had a surgery, or whatever it might be. So it's like, it's life, you know?
Exactly. That's it, man. Keeping it organic. I want to shift gears a little bit. It kind of plays on business development some and some of what we're talking about now. But, you know, current client relationships, do you guys, and so many people, it's funny, are so hesitant or bashful about reaching out to the relationships they've already established. But do you guys have any type of strategy or approach with current clients as it relates to maybe, you know, receiving referrals from those clients? Tell me a little bit about how you guys think about referrals from current clients, and is that something that you really focus on?
Well, I let Ryan do this one. He does a way better job on his referrals and relationships. I mean, yeah, talk a little bit about your like
it's just systems, you know? So yeah, I mean, when I started, everything was organic. I talk to you, you talk to your friend that works with you, and I get a lead, right? But I went in and realized there's probably a better way to do this where we don't have to it, you know, because we only have 20, 30 energy cells a day, right? But what doesn't? AI and automation, right? There's 350 to 400 energy cells a day. So we got on with a company called Client Circle, and it's kind of like a CRM in a way, but basically and you do have to initially put in the work yourself to set up, you know, correspondences over time. So within 1 month, clients get a review. Hey, what do you think about your services with us? How did it go? Can you please tell us if we can do anything better? In 2 months, you get a referral request. Hey, we really enjoyed having you as a client and exactly what your parameters fit. Do you have anyone in mind that you would like to send our way? Right. And that could be by email, it could be by text, or we even send like little tiny handwritten postcards.
Love that.
Like this, this big. Hey,
So
thank
you've
you.
automated it. So you've automated the process to kind of keep you accountable to following up on those referrals. That's huge, man.
Every single client we have gets at least, and I make sure they get at least 8 touches a year. Every single one we have.
So it's a systematic approach then to following up, and that's exactly what we do. Or we're trying to get better at that now with implementing some new technology at the moment, just to further automate some of those touches, so we don't drop the ball and forget. But that's so important, man. I can't tell you. I would say probably 10% of the agencies we talk to have a consistent approach for following up with clients and for generating referral opportunities from those clients. So kudos, man.
Yeah, well, and then there's that, and other than that, there's the regular download reports, right? We use this agency management system that a lot of our carriers download through. So if there's ever anything wrong or an alarming renewal increase, or there's even, hey, this client should be contacted, they've been quoting elsewhere, give them a call.
Right.
We'll actually know that they're quoting elsewhere with other carriers, and we can call them and say, hey, I'm going to help you. I found this new carrier. What do you think? And that helps. I mean, I think we have like 88% retention across the board. And it's been that way. I mean, it actually has dropped. It used to be 92, 94, but it was 88 as of last year. And that's, it's unprecedented. The worst insurance world that's ever been.
Because they hear from you guys.
Percent.
I mean,
So
it's simply the follow-up, I have to imagine, has an impact on that. And I know that it works because I can't tell you how many, since we've been working together, we've probably written 25, 30 deals, 25, 30 clients that are shared clients for HR and payroll. And quite a few of those have been referred, like I've been in that process when you've gotten referred another opportunity, and you're referred to this group and you're referred to that group. And then we come in too, and we win together. So just kind of proof in exactly what you're saying. But that's amazing. I mean, honestly, in a market like we're in, where you're constantly hearing about folks struggling to defend their renewals, which I kind of want to segment into that topic too, because I think it's kind of a perfect segue. But I think all the rage right now is the market. I mean, it is a hard market. How do you successfully defend your renewals? You guys still having such a high retention rate. Tell me a little bit about how you think about or handle some of those challenging renewals that come in. We were talking about one before we went live. I heard you guys kind of chatting about a situation where renewal came in at 100% increase. Like, how do you handle that situation? And how do you, continue to maintain and retain at such a high percentage?
Yeah. Well, what's your knee-jerk reaction? Your knee-jerk reaction is to, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose them. So let's shop. Yeah, we'll shop for you. We just had a meeting about this, and I truly believe that if we did the right work from the very beginning, which was about your coverage, then I think we can easily or easier defend that renewal and say, because we can't control what's going on in the world, right? We can't control the financial aspects or the claims or the storms or, the higher labor costs and the inflation and all that. We can't control that. What we can control is what we've done for you from the beginning. And I mean, this is like verbatim what I say sometimes, like, we did a great job. You have a great company with great coverage. This is not your major problem. Like, your major problem is you got to find a way to make more money in your company. This is done right. This is protecting you so you can make more money, so you can go out there and do the things you need to do. And just so happens, if you have a claim, we're going to be there for you. But so you're going to pay a little bit more. Let's just weather this storm. Weather this storm. I'm doing it too. I have to weather the storm as well. Like, so I think in a way that's where we have to start all the time, is defend what you did from the beginning. And then we go from there sometimes, and yeah, sometimes the renewals are stupid or ridiculous, or for whatever reason, we can do something about it that's easy. Okay, so then we look at maybe changing one line that saves them some money and makes everything come back into line, even where it was, that sort of thing. But we're not trying to make huge changes here and go to another carrier, because we have loyalty too. Loyalty to our client, loyalty to the carrier, loyalty to the job we did from the very beginning.
Yeah,
So
that's
a lot
great.
of times that's where we're at.
I think what you just said, if nobody takes anything else away, I mean, that was gold. I mean, focusing on what you've done, not falling into the trap of the knee-jerk reaction. The increase is high. Let's get wrapped up into a conversation about price, and even talking about the importance of them continuing to grow and progress and make more money in their own business. I mean, that whole kind of clip right there was honestly gold, man. I appreciate you sharing that. Ryan, any thoughts from your perspective, like when those renewals land on your desk, what thoughts cross your mind? Like what key factors go into retaining that relationship? And maybe a piggyback off what Jamie's talking about, but what key factors go into retaining that client regardless of the increase that may have landed on the table?
Well, I mean, like he said, right? I mean, I learned from watching him and from watching Grant Cardone, from watching Mike Barron, from watching Tony Robbins, right? What do they all do? What do they all have in common? Quality over the quantity. It's not about the price. It's you're getting me. You're getting me for you. And you're not going to get that elsewhere. I mean, when you need a certificate, it's there tomorrow. It's there today. It's there in an hour. And some people they get whiplash because they haven't even pushed send and they already have the shit that they needed, you know? So when a client comes and they're renewing highly, I say, okay, well, look, we wrote your policy perfectly correct, right? We went through the steps together. We went through the payroll, we went through the revenue, we went through what your business does, right? And yeah, Joe Schmo down the street can write you as a carpenter, but you and I both know you're a general contractor. So when something happens and you get in a claim and the house falls down, you're not going to be covered. Yes, it's an uncomfortable increase right now, but look at lumber costs and look at vehicle costs and look at health insurance and work comp claims. They've all gone up 100 to 200%.
Got to step back and look at the big picture sometimes.
Yeah. Hey, like I know insurance is an annoying cost for you, but anyone that's ever used it understands how valuable it is when shit does hit the fan. And because we've worked with you and we have your best interest at heart, we don't want to lose you, right? We don't want to lose you. And then we can't dictate making more commission on this or not, right? This is the carrier coming back and saying that risks like yours in the area have had these losses. In order for you to maintain your coverage, that's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So on the front end, it's establishing trust that we do have their best interests at heart because we didn't sell them price from the beginning.
I mean, that's huge. I mean, you're building these trusting, relationships. You're building that rapport on the front end. And so that solid relationships established, but it's also just having these honest, transparent conversations, in these moments, and helping kind of keep things in perspective, I think is absolutely critical. But I think the hard part is so many fail from the jump when the renewal hits the desk and they fall into the trap and they're blinded by the increase. And then that's all they're locked in on.
So for example, that renewal we were talking about, like, just like you're saying, right? He does a very specific niche operation that he was declined by 8 other agents to even look at it just because they're too lazy to even try, right? Yeah. And I spent probably a month and a half finding this certain carrier at this certain class code and coverage for this guy. So I did it, and yes, we got in the door cheaply. Well, he did very, very well. I mean, he made a lot of money last year doing what he does. So his revenue did double. So a price doubling is completely on par with what he should be doing. So instead of me saying, oh yeah, let me quote for you and I'll see what I can do, sorry about the inconvenience. Well, let me talk to you, John, because I'm not going to use his name. Right. John, let me tell you, you did very well last year. And we wrote this correctly the first time. The carrier is just following suit with what you did in revenue. Yeah. So it would be stupid to move from someone that does have your best interests as coverage-wise. I mean, professional liability exposure, diagrams and drawings exposure, a $5 million umbrella. No agent is selling that to their client. They're only selling the GL and they're done, right? So you tell these business owners these things are in place, and we can look at lowering some of these extras that are nice to have, but moving you to a different carrier would be stupid and it's not in your best interest.
Right.
From there, the conversation usually ends. Okay, yeah, I'm annoyed I'm paying $300, $400 more a month, but you're right, I am making $40,000 more a month, so it's okay.
Yeah, and when we talked about it, Ryan, what was our first response to it? Like, okay, it went up to this, but what was our first response? Yeah,
Right.
keep it where it's at, but what was yeah, wow, I'm actually thinking that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
For what he does, he should be at 30, but 15 is not so bad,
I know how it was written from the beginning and how hard it was to find the correct coverage.
It's all balance, it's all balance. And we sometimes, I will say, our flaw is that we make it too easy and too convenient for the client sometimes. I mean, when they want to quote, they don't understand that we're just very fast and efficient in writing our accords and our underwriter conversations and our points that we make in emails. Right? We're really, really quick from the get-go. The clients don't understand that sometimes it's harder for everyone else than it is for us on the front end.
Perspective is key. I mean, that's kind of one of my overarching takeaway with this is a perspective. I mean, for you guys and for the client. But no, I think everything you're sharing is absolute gold, and excited to get this into the hands of some other agencies out there. Kind of want to segue into really the last segment. And I talk to so many folks and they sound so defeated in this market. And you guys do a masterful job of, I think, keeping that perspective and bringing the energy. Tell me a little bit about, for yourself, for your producers, I mean, what are some of the key things that you do or that you tell yourself that kind of help you stay, up here on high, that keep you motivated and that keep you kind of consistent, staying motivated and staying accountable regardless of what's going on in the market around you? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, again, I don't think you, well, I was going to say, sorry, Ryan, but I was going to say, first of all, again, control what you can control, and you can control yourself more than anything else that's happening in the world. We can't control the rates, and I feel sorry for clients. I feel sorry for myself when I look at my insurance bill on my autos and 3 youthful drivers, and like I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I feel like, to motivate myself personally is way easier than my team. I mean, 33 years of doing it, I've seen this before. It's like, okay, and a lot of agents look at it like, well, this is good because it's a pay raise. All the premiums are going up, so insurance companies are going to hopefully make more money and perform better financially. Well, so will the agents. You have less clients, and you have better service to the clients that you have, and you keep I should say this, you keep clients. You have less to service, but you're making more money. Now that's a selfish way of really looking at it, because I do truly feel sorry for the clients, but to motivate your team, I think to them is to continue to give them the idea of experience.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen this before, I've been through this before. It's okay. Here's how you handle it. This is
your
what
composure, man, like leading by example, and you do that, and I see that, but you being able to keep your composure and then feeling that energy is powerful.
Yeah, I think that helps, I mean, one little caveat we're offering, because we have agency goals too, obviously, to grow and grow and grow. In 24 months, we haven't missed
A growth
I should
target.
say, yeah, a growth target. We've always grown every single month for 24 months straight. But, we have a goal to hit, a certain amount in premium for the agency. And when we do that, we're taking everybody on a trip, So I think those are kind of the obvious motivators, you hope.
Right.
But, it's good, Marcus. Maybe you can kind of tell us too, because you have a whole team. what does motivate people? What motivates you might be a hunting trip. What motivates me might be money. What motivates Ryan might be time off. What motivates Kelsey might just be, hey, you did a really great job. You know what I'm saying? So
The biggest thing is that, I mean, you nailed it. I think it's everybody's different. For me, the key is like the importance of building a relationship with your team and understanding that everybody's different and they have different motivating factors. I mean, that's really what it boils down to, is you've got to really understand your team. Everybody's gonna, be driven by this one thing. And so leaders miss that. But taking the time to build relationships with your team, understanding what drives them, that's how you can drill and tap into each person and bring out the best in each individual based on their particular needs.
Yeah. I agree. It's very difficult sometimes, you offer a 401k for everybody and half of them are like, oh, I don't like what that sucks, or benefits, or bonuses, okay, maybe a little bit, applause, but it is tough. It is tough to understand.
I want to hear a little nugget from you, man. I mean, you're the business developer out there. Like, tell us a little bit about what motivates you. Like, how do you keep yourself pumped up to keep going hard at it every day?
I was actually talking with Jamie about this, the other day, and I talked. You think about it a lot, especially it's easy to motivate yourself when you don't have anything, when you have nothing to lose, balls to the wall, all out. I'm going to go crazy. That's easy. Anyone can do that and pick their feet up and start, right? And some people will say, oh no, that's the hardest part, but it's the easiest part. The hard part is when you haven't, and when you've already hit all the goals and you have to keep going higher. You have to stress yourself even more. You have to apply the pressure even more. Like, that's where it gets hard. So for me, it's the team around me and the future me, and what's he going to say, right? So the people that are working here, and I see them putting in the hours, and our service people that work so hard and are so composed and dedicated to our clients. And, I know that the work I do is being taken care of. So it's my responsibility to keep making more for them. Because if I make more, they make more. And I'm the only way to do it. So I'm working for them and for future me, because I know that the more they get, the more successful they get, the more time I'm going to have off later, because my agency's running. It's a well-oiled machine. My clients are happy. They know what to expect from us. And at some point, I'm not going to have to go crazy and keep hitting these crazy growth targets. But for now, I want everyone to eat, because they're my family and they're sitting at my table. So if they're not eating, someday I won't either, So that's what keeps me showing up. I mean, it's honestly just responsibility to keep performing, to keep setting higher goals and hitting them. Once you realize it's not about making money, it changes the perspective of how hard and how quality you work.
That is the key. Yeah, you nailed it, man. It's not about making money. That's a big part of it. We all want to do that, but it's a byproduct.
That's just the start. That's just, I mean, that's like, at the end of the day, you're gonna make the money, and that's fine. But you want your legacy and your team to be recognized. You want to be a name that people understand and they associate with greatness. And that's beyond money. It's greatness, Well,
I am very thankful for all you shared today, guys. We're gonna end on that note. Y'all shared some things that I didn't really expect. I think some nuggets in there I'm excited about and really appreciate. Thank you both so much. We'll have this up and live here in a couple of weeks to our agency partners. But as always, I'm your host, Marcus Malone, president of HRO and the Broker Collective. You can always find out more about us at brokercollective.xyz. Keep up with us on social. Keep up with our live content on Facebook. Check out the Allee Agency based out of Tennessee. Jamie and Ryan, some of the best guys I know. I appreciate the insights you shared today. Again, it was gold, man. Truly appreciate it. Thank you guys both so much, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode.